Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Bette McCarthy, and I'm the chair of the Old Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee, and I'd like to welcome everybody to this meeting. This meeting of the Old Kings Highway Historic District Committee is being recorded and broadcast of the Town of Barnstable Government Access Channel. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, the chair must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, they have to make their presence known. Okay, I guess nobody is recording it. So, to all persons deemed interested or affected by the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act, under Section 9, Chapter 470, Acts of 1973, as amended, you are hereby notified that a hearing will be held on the applications listed on the agenda for May 22nd, 2024. And we'd like to remind the applicants and audience members we're elected volunteer committee following the guidelines of the Town of Barnstable Old Kings Highway Historic District Act. Any applicant or interested party who's aggrieved by a decision of the committee, they have a right to appeal the decision to the Old Kings Highway Regional Historic Commission. We ask that during this evening proceedings, all cell phones be turned off and conversations other than those before the committee take place outside of this remote meeting. When an applicant is called, we ask the applicant and all interested parties to identify themselves. And lastly, as a best practice for meetings held remotely, where we may not be able to identify who's speaking, we ask committee members and participants to identify themselves before making any motions or comments. Online audience members wishing to participate during the public comment section can use the raised hand button to notify the chair. Dial-in audience members wishing to participate in the comment section of the hearing should press *9 on their phones to notify the chair. So all participants will be muted and you must be recognized by the chair. So the first order of business is to take a roll call vote. So George Jessup. I thought George was on, but I guess not. All right. Wendy Schuck.
Present.
Ryan Caholen.
Present.
Leslie Wallace.
Present.
And Bette McCarthy. So our first applicant for this evening is Winston Stratton of 572 Cedar Street, West Barnstable, map 109, parcel 047, built in 1981, to construct an addition to the existing dwelling, repair existing dwelling, and to add a screened-in porch. Before we comment on this, we have to open a public hearing.
Sure.
Do we have a motion to do that?
Sure. This is Wendy Schuck, and I move to open the public hearing.
Leslie Wallace, second.
Very good.
It's all you tonight, Leslie. You got it.
Oh my God, I love you.
And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace.
Aye.
Ryan Caholen.
Aye.
Wendy Schuck.
Aye.
And Bette McCarthy. So is the applicant, Mr. Stratton, available to discuss your application?
Yes, my name is William Munn. I will be representing 572 Cedar Street and the Stratton household. I believe I sent Erica a letter of agency to just affirm that I will be the representative.
Yeah. You're a little bit hard to hear. Can you,
Let me see. Is it just any better if I just speak really loud?
that's better. Yeah, that's
good.
definitely better. Thank you.
Okay,
I'll try and speak up. So yes, we have an existing Cape House where we will basically be adding a primary bedroom wing with new bathroom and master bedroom. We're applying for the screen porch as well, since you will be able to see that approaching the house from the east. And yeah, the overall goal, if you go through the proposed work and go through the elevations, is to just maintain the integrity of the existing house. Everything's going to be to match existing, the same clapboard. The windows will be painted to match existing. And I think the goal is cedar shingles as well on the roof. So that's the project in a nutshell. So I'll leave it to you guys if you have any questions for me.
okay. All right. Would the committee like to make some comments regarding this? Ryan, what are your comments regarding this addition?
Sure, appreciate it. No, I think you have a unique property there, and it's staged to look much older than it is.
Yes.
Which I applaud you for wanting to change that up a bit. But I've looked a lot at the site plan, I've looked at the elevations, and I think that quite frankly, what you're proposing sort of mirrors almost what if that house was originally built, several hundred years ago. We see a lot of additions sort of branching out as families expanded and contracted. So, I think what you're trying to do, provided that, and I've read the uh, the COA application, and you're saying that everything's going to match existing. I think that provided that you're able to do that, keep the existing match, or make sure that the end product resembles the look you have going currently. I think it's a good use of the space. You have enough property to do it right. I think what you're proposing is appropriate. Just one question: the trees at the front of the property, those are all going to stay?
Yes, yeah, I think the only thing, there will be some extensive excavation around the grading. I know someone's looking at that kind of east elevation right now where there's a pretty severe drop on the driveway side. So there's going to have to be some clever excavating to kind of regrade and make that a primary entrance. So as far as the existing site goes, it'll really just be reworking the existing stone walls that are there. Because right now in that west elevation, you'll see that stone wall that your clicker is on right now is actually cutting right through the bedroom. So that would have to get reworked. But again, everything would be to kind of touch the property as light as possible, or at least make it seem like we didn't touch it, that the stone walls were kind of always where they were. But obviously we're gonna have to push and pull some stuff around to achieve that.
Sure. I don't believe any of those walls are actually ancient walls.
No, and I mean, I'm new to the company I work for now, so I was only introduced to this project when I kind of sent the application in and put the proposed drawings together. So my understanding is that this was owned by the grandfather who had it built. So I think it was similar to what you said, made to look old, but I think it was built in the 80s. So it's made to look like an old cave. I think he did a really good job of it. And so our goal is to kind of keep that language going and just make it look like, try and fool people that it is a house built in the 19th century, even though it clearly isn't.
Understood. It's very hard to hear you. I don't know if it's my end or if it's everyone. I'm
Yeah, hard
piecing
to
most
hear.
of it together, but I don't think I have any other questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay, I'll try and speak up.
Thank you,
That's much
Ryan.
better.
All right, Leslie, what are your comments regarding this?
I agree with Ryan. The porch is in the back.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes, yeah, that's the porch right
Okay,
there.
so, okay, all right. I couldn't see that, yeah. The only thing is, well, maybe, okay, I see the windows. I was worried about the difference in the windows. But I think on the original, it was hard to figure out what they really look like. But those look all right. And it's a all glass panel door on the lower level, right?
So all of that is existing. So that's
Oh, okay, okay, so don't worry about that, okay.
yeah, that's the existing house, and what you're looking
Okay.
at, I don't know if I believe I called it out in my annotations there. That those aren't windows. That's just the kind of hatch program I have in my drawings. That's to represent a screen.
Oh, okay. All right, let's see. Go down. Yeah, that one. Can you move it? Yeah. Okay. This is the window one, and it was so kind of hard to figure out with all the gizmos going on. 4/4, right? Wait a minute. Some are 4/4, some are 4/. See, I can't see it that well to.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
8/12 on the new part of the house, right?
Oh, it
And-
is, okay,
Yeah, and 12/12 on on one part of the house, yeah.
yeah, all right, yeah, I just can't really see that, it's got so much stuff going on. Well, I guess that matches up good, and everything else is to match for the original.
Yes, and I mean as far as the windows are concerned, my understanding of how these houses were built. Let me know if you can't hear me. Is that yeah? The main house is 12/12, and when they did these additions, it was pretty common to have the light cuts either take one row of light cuts out or transition to cottage style windows. So that's kind of where we ended up with the 8/12.
Yeah.
And it's also just it kind of works out that way through code. You know, our sill height has to be a certain
Yeah.
ground, and we looked at a bunch of different things. We looked at 12/12 in that area, and we figured that this was the best configuration of the windows.
Yeah,
And this is, so, hi, everybody, I'm Pete Hanby, and I just want to chime in. Another thing that we did here is and I'm sorry, it's a little hard to see past some of the hatch, but we did take an effort here to make sure that the proportions of each individual light cut were the same as the existing house.
yes,
So
yes,
even though that maybe the configuration of a window, a
Yeah.
cottage, you know, they're all of the same size and the same
Yeah.
proportion.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it looks good to me. I know that house, so it's a lovely spot. I think that addition will fit, because as Ryan says, you've got the land and it'll fit nicely.
Great.
Okay. Thank you, Leslie. Um, let's see, let's,
Want me to go
Wendy,
next? Yeah.
Wendy,
Yeah,
yeah,
just a couple things just to confirm. So the siding on the addition is gonna be the clapboard, right? Because I think on this it shows as shingle, but it's not gonna be shingled, right? Because it says white cedar shingles.
So it is showing shingles right now, and that's actually a discussion we're having with the client. So we were told budget wise, it would be cheaper to do shingles. And the budget on this is what it is. And if the client can save money in some places.
So are they gonna stain those shingles? Because that house is awfully,
It would still be natural. However we finished it would be natural to match the kind of natural clapboard siding. And again, I think that's a move we've seen done where the addition does have a different siding to the main primary house. So it kind of allows that main primary volume to stand out on its own while not kind of interfering too much. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so there is a desire on the part of the clients to use a clapboard, but the cedar prices right now for clapboard they're pretty high. And so we're going through the pricing exercise right now. And we submitted this with the assumption that given cedar clapboard pricing, we're more likely to end up with cedar shingles. But I suppose there is I imagine that you as a review board would probably prefer to see clapboard. But that's the reason why we have the cedar shingle right now.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. And the house is dark, right? Is that clapboard is it stained? Must be stained because it's very dark.
I think it's actually, I believe
Is
it's
it natural?
no, it's a dark stain. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost a paint, so much pigmentation.
Yeah.
Will
mean-
it be the same color?
I honestly, I think my preference would be to keep the trim at the same color, but use, a nice white cedar that's so typical on the Cape, and let that weather. And in a way, by using a different material, I think you're kind of honoring the original structure in a way that you sometimes see where you give primacy to the original building, and then you understand this is the original part. And then you see a different, and then this is the second generation that was added onto it, rather than having it be kind of all monochromatic.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm not writing the check for this, right? So I'll just offer another suggestion is sometimes we see like the front is clapboarded and the rest, like the sides and the back are shingled too. Which, aesthetically might be a little better in this case. Yeah. So that's one thing. And then the other question is on the porch in the back. So are those like floor to ceiling screens? Is that what the plan is back there?
Yeah, that's on the back side of the house. That is a screen porch with floor to, basically it's a detached screen porch attached via a breezeway.
Gotcha. Okay. And then that little like bar you see kind of 2/3 of the way down, that's just for support or something, I guess, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically a pitched roof breezeway that attaches the two. That would serve as basically a covered means to enter the house on the backside. Because part of I know we're looking at this more from an aesthetic standpoint, but
yeah,
part of one of the drivers behind the renovation is to turn the upstairs level, the first floor level, into a place where we can enter, where the owners can enter the house and create a second entry, rather than just having to come down at that lower level where they park.
Yeah, and come up, yeah.
And then you'll have a some sort of a fireplace in that screened-in porch, and that's brick veneer. Is that what'll be covered with the chimney?
It would be a true masonry fireplace.
Oh, it would. Okay.
Brick, yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what the other committee members think about the siding with the shingles.
Yeah, I wanted to just say while we're on the subject, I'm sorry, Bet, I know you're next, but if they would be willing to do the front and then the shingles on the side and the back, do you think they'd be willing to do that rather and not all the way around, but just the front? Because sometimes I look at this type of thing, and when it's two different like shingles, and it seems like an afterthought. I'm not crazy about that. And this is a very cute house. I would like it to, be compromised. Do you see what I'm saying? Just the front. And then the side and all the back, the shingles.
Well, I think, we're actively going through the pricing exercise right now. And I do not disagree with you. Personally, I kind of almost rather you know, my preference would be to see it go all clapboard if the
Yeah.
numbers work out. And perhaps, you know, perhaps we have to come back, you know, in a month once we have some direction and once, you know, the spreadsheet is a little bit more
Yeah.
filled out.
Defined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
Beth, what
that,
do yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you go ahead. Keep
I
going.
was just going to say that because and that's the reason kind of why we submitted this with the shingle rather than the clapboard, to say, because it seemed like it ratchets more easily from the clapboard, from the shingle to the clapboard than vice versa, right? If we were to go through the exercise.
Yeah. I would prefer the clapboard just on the front. See how much that is. Shingles on the end and the back. And it might not be too bad just doing it on the front. Of course, it's not my money, so it's easy for me to say.
Yeah. Right. Beth, what do you think?
Well, thank you for giving me an opportunity to make my suggestions. I think it's a very attractive reproduction. In my estimation, I think that the front should have the same materials. I think that would look best. And even though you want it to look like a second generation, I think the matching what's on the existing home in the front would be the best solution to keep the house, the reproduction, and to keep it blending well with the existing structure. So those are my comments. And, you know, as far as having shingle on the whole rest of the house, there's no problem with that. The screen and porch looks fine. And it's a very attractive home. And I think, you know, your addition blends well with the existing, but the only thing is the front facade. In my estimation, it should be matching.
Okay, great.
So would you like to continue this rather than? You know, I suppose we could approve it with the clapboard on front, right? Or, but probably.
Right. Why don't we
Might want
approve it as it with the matching front materials? And then if you have to come back and make a change, you can do that. Otherwise, you won't be hampered by waiting for putting in applications and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
great.
good.
Yeah. And of course, clapboarding the whole thing would be fine too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we figured as much that if clapboard was approved on the street side, we could get approval for it everywhere else in the house. So
All right. Are there any other committee comments, or should we check to see if there's anybody in the public wishing to make some remarks? Erica?
That there's no one from the public that's wishing to speak to this item at this time.
Okay, all right. So then we can close the public comment section.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to close the public hearing.
Second, Leslie Wallace.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Brian Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Beth McCarthy, aye. So now we need a motion to approve this application.
Sure. This is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness application for Winston Stratton, 572 Cedar Street, West Barnstable, map 109, parcel 047, built in 1981, as submitted with one modification to change the siding on the addition of the house on the front to clapboard. Otherwise, it's approved. Otherwise, okay.
All right. And may we have a second?
Second, Leslie Wallace.
Very good. Brian Caholen,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy. Aye. So, if you, the applicant, if you need to make any changes beyond what's been approved, you can go back and you can come back and do a minor modification.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right.
all. Have a good night.
Good night now. All right, that seems to be our only application for this evening. We do not have any minor modifications. There are no extensions, nothing under other. And the next item would be to approve the minutes of April 24th, 2024.
So, nobody had any updates? No? I was good
No.
with the minutes. Yep, I thought they looked great.
Look good to me.
No,
Yep.
Okay. It's like a
Same here.
motion. That, Yep.
okay.
This
So
is
let's have a motion.
yep, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to approve the minutes of the April 24th, 2024 meeting as submitted.
Second, Leslie Wallace.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Brian Coleman,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy. Aye. So our next meeting date is June 12th and June 26th. And there were no further things to come before the committee this evening. May we have a motion to adjourn?
Sure, this is Wendy Shuck, and I move to adjourn today's meeting Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024.
Second, Leslie Wallace.
Thank you. And a roll call vote on that. Ryan Caholen,
Aye.
Wendy Shuck,
Aye.
Leslie Wallace,
Aye.
and Bette McCarthy. Aye. So I believe we are all
Right.
set.